Alright, so part 2, talking about heart disease, because we didn't quite finish up there. Heart disease is the side effects. Now, you've got these things, which Dr. Matthias Rath kind of took his time to do 12 years worth of studies showing that the nutrients included there actually, well, give your body the raw material necessary to rebuild at a cellular level, which actually reverses all the aspects of heart disease over time. Now, the side effects of the Western medicine way of doing things is statin drugs. A statin drug is a limiter of cholesterol. Cholesterol being your, well, produced by the liver being one of the most important things in our body. Think about this. Cholesterol levels. Your brain is 76% cholesterol by weight. So is mine, by the way. That makes us a fat head, if you want to get technical. But 76% cholesterol by weight. I've seen CPAs take statin drugs and could not balance their checkbooks a few months later. Come off the statin and their brain comes back. It's amazing. Statin drugs limit your LDL cholesterol. That sticky cholesterol is what binds our muscle to our bone. And I've seen far too many times people's biceps shoot up into their shoulders after training with statin drugs. One of the main side effects of the statin is muscle loss. Also, erectile dysfunction, and you feel tired all the time. Your hormones are created from cholesterol, so in order for our endocrine system, which is the contractor, okay, your hormones tell your cells what to do, right? What to repair and what not to. So if we lose the contractor, then basically the workers do what the workers do. They don't do their work right. So we don't want to lose that in particular. And then erectile dysfunction, I mean, do you really want to lose that? Nonetheless, it's up to you. Your beta blockers, these are blood pressure lowering medications. Poor digestion, fatigue, erectile dysfunction, dizziness. ACE inhibitors, more blood pressure stuff. Fatigue, erectile dysfunction, liver failure, kidney failure. Alpha blockers, fainting. Like, what's up with all the erectile dysfunction? You know, it's the number one issue with blood pressure medications. Here's the thing. These are natural. Okay? Your body knows what to do with these. They are found in nature. They're not man-made. They are created by the same creator that had the format to create you and made your DNA. This guy's really sharp, and he seems to know exactly how things work. And he made you to digest and process natural stuff. I don't know, maybe you knew what he was doing. When you give the body raw materials, it uses them. Whenever you give the body toxins, things get jacked up. Would you take a banana and put it in your gas tank and expect your car to work better? That's the equivalent of taking a synthetic drug and putting it in an organic body and expecting it to work better. Think about it. You were intended to live forever, by the way. Now, that is what you can pretty much guarantee is going to happen with the heart disease before they end up cutting you open and putting in stents. And you know, we had a lady taking MSM alone. She had heart disease. She started taking MSM, and about 4 to 6 months went by. I think it was 4 months went by, and she started having a pain in her chest. Went down her left arm. She went to the doctor. The doctor said, "Well, look, we knew this was going to happen after your stent. After you had a bypass." She had a bypass put in. She started taking MSM afterward. The doctor said, "You know, all right, we're going to have to go in and we're going to have to see what's going on with the bypass." The doctor brings her back out from surgery. Or not from surgery, from the x-ray, and says, I can't explain it. Your bypass collapsed. She said, well, what am I still doing here? He said, the artery cleared. The blockage is gone. So the bypass wasn't needed anymore, and that was the pain you felt in your chest. Now, I'm sure that's coincidence, because that doesn't happen very often. As a matter of fact, that's the only time I've heard of it. But the MSM puts elasticity and flexibility back into the soft cell tissues of the body. Makes sense. Whenever the arterial wall can flex and bend, then you get better blood flow. And hardening of the arteries goes away, and there's no need, if you repair, to have the blockage to keep you from internally bleeding to death. We'll do that in another video. The heart disease video probably covers that. Anyway, I thought it was really cool. So, that's heart disease, the forbidden way, and the standard American way. That goes along with the standard American diet. You end up having these things. It's very sad. Standard American diet. Very sad. Autoimmune disorders. So, autoimmune disorders are where the immune system is acting up. We'll go back over this. When the immune system isn't acting right, you have two parts. You got a lot of parts in the immune system, but in particular, with the immune system, you have generals and we have soldiers, right? The generals communicate with our soldiers. You have generals, soldiers. Generals communicate with soldiers through lines called mucinose polysaccharides. Okay? These mucinose polysaccharides are a specific type of simple sugar. When they get broken down, then your body can no longer, or they can no longer communicate with each other. What happens when the general in the military can't communicate with his soldiers? What do the soldiers do? They go out, get drunk, and attack the wrong thing. Alright? So, when we have an autoimmune disorder, essentially this is what's happened. There's no more communication in your immune system, and the soldiers are attacking the wrong thing. We thought it would be an amazing thing to restore communication. If we gave the body the raw materials necessary to rebuild these communication lines, what would happen? Come to find out, once the communication line is repaired, the generals pick up the phone, call the soldiers, and say, hey boys, what are y'all doing? You're attacking the wrong thing. Regroup. And soldiers start to act right. Autoimmune disorder relents. When the attack stops, you can heal. And we don't believe that these products heal you. No, that would be wrong. Your body heals itself. It wants to heal itself if it has the raw materials to do what it's supposed to. These are the raw materials for autoimmune disorders so that your body can act right. It's pretty simple, pretty basic, but it's a lot different than what your doctor does for you. Furthermore, if there's two different causes for autoimmune disorders, right? There is an actual autoimmune disorder, and then there's the other one where the immune system is functioning properly. But let's say you have rheumatoid arthritis, and there's actually something that has embedded in the muscle that needs to be killed. And the immune system can't see any other way but to attack whatever it is and kill it with the muscle. We found also, though, that a lot of this is due to a weakened or slowed immune system, which is why immunosuppressive drugs don't help the situation. They call it an overactive immune system, but it's just attacking, and it really doesn't have the energy necessary to differentiate between the two, so it just kills the whole thing. So what we found is in these cases, Terminator, which is an antifungal, antibacterial, antimicrobial, natural product that does not kill the good bacteria out of the colon. So that, along with repairing the liver with IP6, and in certain cases like fibromyalgia, we found most of the time the best bet is to actually boost the immune system with IS3, which will boost killer T and macrophage activity by up to 700% in as little as 7 days. If the problem starts getting worse, then you know you've got an actual autoimmune disorder. That's why we generally start with NPS. If that doesn't work, we'll roll you over to IS3 and get rid of it. Now, in this case, I hope I didn't go too fast there. These Terminator, IP6, MSM, if you have fibromyalgia, this is almost guaranteed what your problem is. MSM will go in and start to eliminate that. With fibromyalgia, because I don't believe it's an autoimmune disorder because of how many people I've seen actually reverse and get rid of this. I had a lady that came in. She got the, what we used to call the immune boosting combo or fibromyalgia combo. And what that was your MSM, your IS3, which IP6 is the main ingredient there, and the Terminator and pH+, right? These 4 products, what happens is MSM creates hydration and fluidity so that the body can move things around the way it's supposed to. You have to stay hydrated. It's wildly important. The IS3 actually boosts killer T and macrophage activity in these people with this supposed autoimmune disorder. Then what happens is Terminator goes in and it actually kills directly helping the immune system, killing out the fungus, bacteria, mold, whatever it is. Actually, the Candida is what it really is. It's a systemic yeast infection. You can see it with a dark field microscope if you get one. But then the Terminator goes in and kills it out, and the pH drops, alkalize the blood even further. We got a patent proving that can be done within 90 days. Got it patented. All these products that are natural are based on that pH balancing formula, so they can't be copied or replicated. So they are the best, most absorbable products on the market with a patent. Now, the pH drops then go in and think about it like this. Rats and roaches, they don't come from a garbage dump, but they live there, right? Well, they live there because it's the best environment for rats and roaches. The garbage dump didn't create the rats nor roaches, but when you clean the garbage dump up, the rats and roaches go away, right? Think of fibromyalgia like that. pH plus goes in, alkalizes and oxygenates your system. And the rats and roaches are very uncomfortable there, or Candida's not comfy there anymore, so it starts being eliminated. Now, how Candida works is when Candida gets in the bloodstream, it replicates there very easily, okay? When you're allowing this Candida to grow, Candida's like any other organism. Whenever it eats, it gives off toxins. These toxins build up in your muscles, giving you these weird muscle cramps, muscle aches, muscle pains, and all kinds of stuff, ending up eventually in epilepsy or seizures. This is why you have all the neurological pains and all the weird stuff that happens with fibromyalgia. These pH drops alkalize, oxygenate, get that out of the system so it's not comfortable. The Terminator kills it directly. IS3 boosts killer T and macrophage activity, and MSM makes fluidity happen so you get rid of it once it's killed. Those work together specifically for fibromyalgia. I've seen it. I have a lady that came in. I did not even know who she was. After 4 months on that stuff, her husband came in for years thanking me whenever they came to get more product, thanking me for giving her life back. She came off of 21 medications. Just doing that they had her all on for fibromyalgia. She was like a walking zombie. And now he's got his wife back. She's working full time. She feels great. loving life again. That's pretty cool stuff. That's natural. Now, we found with autoimmune disorders also, SR9001, 9009, and SR9011, which we have got on the way. These will actually speed up the circadian clock in the body. Now, these are for research purposes only. You can't have these. You cannot take them. You take the natural stuff. The other ones are for research purposes, for research animals. But in the future, maybe one day your doctor will give you permission to get these. But what they do is they speed up the circadian clock in the cells, in the body, in the immune system, in the bone, in the muscle, and in the liver. By doing so, these autoimmune disorders, which are overactive immune systems, giving them more energy helps them to identify the right stuff, get rid of it, and keep the good stuff like your muscle. Freaking amazing, right? See, all the things we eat today slow us down. They bog us down and they screw up cellular reproduction. When you give the cells the proper energy, speeding up the circadian clock, stuff starts to work better, like you're 18 years old again. Pretty cool stuff, if you're a nerd like me. These products, along with this TA1, which is thymosin alpha 1, that is the thymus gland that actually, thymosin alpha 1 retrains the immune system. It is what the thymus gland produces, thymosin alpha 1, being the training center, or allowing the immune system to retrain the killer T cells to basically turning you into a 15-year-old again, where your immune system can adapt to new things. That is one of the most amazing ideas I've ever heard of. Instead of just putting the communication lines back in, this stuff actually starts the training process again. So you can identify new things with the immune system. That's why it works so well with things like COVID-19, the unspoken virus. You should look up the studies on that. They did studies on that with diabetic elderly patients that were in end-stage renal failure. You should see the results they got with the thymus. But nonetheless, so that is going to conclude autoimmune disorders, and then we'll get into pancreatic cancer on the next video. This one, the pharmaceutical industry, they proved the cure wipes it out in 40 days. They found that. They did the studies. You don't know about it. Wonder why. Oh, by the way, my name is Seth Williams. None of the research chemicals that I've talked about are for human consumption. They're not to be eaten, they're not to be snorted, they're not to be banged, they're not to be insulted, they're not to be used as procreation aids. They are not medications. They are simply for research purposes only, not for humans to use. These products I speak of that are for human use, they have not been evaluated by the FDA. They are not intended to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any disease. All we claim is that what's on these labels is in those bottles. Beyond that, it's on you. So, with that said, next video we talk about pancreatic cancer and how your pharmaceutical industry has known the cure for a while, and no, they're not going to let you have it.